So I think my video last week was pretty effective at kind of showing you my process, and I thought I'd take another run at it this week, especially since what I made didn't really turn out to be what I had started out intending to make. So handmade cardboard is what I've been after, and I wanted to make out of maps. So I ordered a lot of vintage highway maps, Wyoming highway maps off eBay that I started out with. I also had a really nice 1968 and a 1971, which I have cut up and ruined already, but it's okay. It's part of the process, I think. So I started by cutting up the maps into pieces roughly the sizes of what I was thinking I was going to need. And then I have this tool called a crimper, which is sort of a scrapbooky kind of tool that I use at school sometimes, or I have the kids use, but when you run a piece of paper through it, it, you know, crimps it into a texture, and I thought I might be able to use that for the structural middle parts of the cardboard. So I started off by making a whole bunch of the pieces that were the size that I wanted and using polymer gloss medium to try to adhere them into sandwiches. And I attached them to each other on this big piece of taped together butcher paper, thinking that the wax on the butcher paper would allow them to release and not stick down. And I wrecked a bunch of my map pieces. So I learned that that was not the way to do it. And so then I got an idea that maybe this is some silicone lubricant that I use to keep my treadmill belt working smoothly, and I thought maybe if I applied the silicone lubricant I could have it release from the surface of the butcher paper better, and that also worked, except then I realized that once they had released, nothing was going to stick to them anymore because the silicone was very slippery and I wasn't able to make the laminate work because I had them all slippery. I probably should have thought that through a little bit more. So then I decided that I probably better quit ruining my maps, and I got a catalog and started cutting up my catalog to try to, you know, use those instead to get the process figured out. And I used, let's see, I started making just some big messy kind of catalog pages laminated out of multiple different, I started using both the polymer medium, but then I also wondered if maybe I needed a water-based glue instead, or something that wouldn't make them curl as much or might keep them a little more rigid. So I tried PVA adhesive. It's a bookbinding water-based kind of stuff, and I made a bunch of really bad cardboard that kind of comes apart and didn't work real well. It turned out the PVA adhesive seemed like it bound things a little more strongly, which I was kind of surprised about. This is actually not bad. I wondered if maybe part of the problem with the acrylic medium was that I had contaminated things with the silicone. So I dumped out all of my, I got rid of all of what I had been using, and I got a different brush and I tried it again, and I don't think it made any difference. I think it was just that I was allowing the silicone to dry too much, or the acrylic medium to dry too much in between, and maybe that there was a slipperiness to the surface of this catalog that was, because I noticed it kind of separating on there as I was painting it on. So I thought I might be getting closer, and so I figured I better get back with the map just in case it was enough different, a different ink surface that it was going to react differently. So I quit working with the catalogs and I went back to the map again, and this time I used a different process, and I, well, not pull out the thing. I marked out the spaces where I was going to work, and I made one with the PVA and one with the acrylic gloss. Actually, two, I guess. And my first one, I didn't make it quite as thick, and it ended up being much floppier than what I wanted. So after that, I started layering them much deeper, so that I went with one layer going this way of the corrugation, and one layer going this way, and another layer going this way, and another layer. So there's 4 layers in each one of corrugation, and 4 layers of flat. And then I weighted them with a book, which that's an old book that I had thought that I was going to cut up and also use, but then I decided I just wanted it to be strictly maps. So now I've got one that's PVA adhesive and one that's gloss medium, and I think I like the PVA adhesive best, which is not what I expected, but it seems to be stickier and drying a little bit more rigid and doing less of this kind of delaminating if it gets a chance. So maybe what I'll do is I'm gonna need a minimum of 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for my box. So I think now I've sort of got my research done, and I'm going to start for real by laminating them up and weighting them in between. And yeah, that's where I'm at. I wrecked a lot of maps this week.